Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. This is the 1-on-1 Sports Show. I was gone for a week. I was under the weather. I appreciate Black Man for holding it down. It was actually a great show last week. I still watched, and it was really good. Appreciate my co-host, Shawnee, for holding it down as well. Of course, I am Dante.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Shawnee. Glad to have you back, Dante. Good to see you back healthy.
Appreciate that. But you want to know what's funny about it? I know you can relate because if y'all don't know, me and Shani have our daughters are like a month and a day apart. And so I got sick. My daughter, she got sick for like a day and a half, and I guess she was just too much for the virus. She kicked it to me. I was sick as a dog. She's good. My wife is rotated. My oldest daughter got it. My wife got it. My son, he got a little cold. And he's good. He's still normal. But like me and my wife took it the worst. I don't know what happened. And it was rough. Like and I was like, man, I ain't never been that I ain't been that sick. I ain't had a summer cold since I was like high school. I was in high school and I was like, I can't get no cold in the summer. My mom was like, yeah, you can. And so it hit hard. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all had an interesting topic. But with the fact that it's August and there's plenty of good topics. So for today, we got the story that won't go away. Deshaun Watson. And we have tried to delicately talk about it. And one of the reasons I talk about it delicately, I posted it in my Facebook sports group. And it was like already some like, when he's guilty, he's this, he's that. And so, of course, we talk about the Deshaun Watson. The judge did rule for him to get suspended for 6 games. And the NFL I think the NFL listened to the days of talking, and they came in and they do what they do with the public perception, and they probably are going to increase it. They could increase it. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, they definitely want to increase it because they wasn't pleased, I guess I should say, with the original decision. But I just put it like this, during this whole process, I try to be extremely careful with putting labels on people if I don't fully know the information. And, unfortunately, even though you can say it to you blue in the face how usually sexual conduct matters, that's traditionally deemed as criminal. So, the police and the law and all that stuff, the outside laws and whatnot, they deal with that. NFL is a private company. They don't have to, if you even find yourself close to that and your name gets involved in the headlines or whatnot and it embarrasses them, they can care less about how the courts and whatnot, what they ultimately will, their decision on. And when the 2 grand juries literally just dropped the case because they couldn't find anything. They are a private company. They saying you bring an embarrassment to us, we're gonna suspend you. We don't care about what they say because okay, that's criminal. Okay, we're not criminal. This is our domain, the NFL, and we're gonna say you can't play here. So okay, that's cool. That's any company has especially private company has that type of a right per se. And I don't want to say every company, but a lot of them, if you do anything to embarrass us, we can punish you accordingly for the most part. And so I get all that, but in today's society, they, no matter how much you mention, okay, there's a criminal side and there's a private NFL side. When the NFL, they'll look at the NFL, and if they decide to go through with a punishment, a lot of the general public, they will associate that as guilt. And one thing I noticed, and this is, and of course with the NFL hates public backlash. They hate public backlash. You saw it in the past from other domestic, when it comes to whether it's domestic violence, sexual assault cases, or even Colin Kaepernick. When they get any type of backlash, they almost immediately will fold based on that backlash. They just hate it, you know. So, and I don't really like the fact that, you know, the NFL, so the owners, you know, the owners, they did not want, you know, appreciate you looking at Top Slug, appreciate you checking us out. And the owners did not want to, the owners and the NFL, they don't like getting that backlash from the general public. So they got together with the NFLPA. Hey, what do y'all think we get a middleman to come up with these, you know, to dictate the punishments and whatnot? We give them the information, and then we'll go about, you know, we'll go about what they, you know, what the end result will be. Both sides agreed to it. Okay, yeah, let's go to the middleman. And in this case, this whole thing with Deshaun Watson is dealing with women. The middleman, I guess, is a judge who is actually a woman. So, you know, they gave the case to her. She goes, you know, she do her due diligence. She kept it a secret. I mean, usually with stuff like this, there's be leaks. She didn't leak out anything. Nobody knew what the end game would be until yesterday.
Yeah, she did a good job of keeping keeping that a lid on that.
So, you know, she come up, she said, based on how y'all handle personal conduct in the past, I'm gonna give them 6 games. This is how y'all generally handle stuff like this. You know, she kept it, you know, based, and the NFL, I guess, you know, they not happy with the decision. They was looking for a bigger punishment.
Yeah, it's a bigger punishment, and I also think, Top Slug, man, shout out to you. That was really good what you said about pandering to the public opinion. It is a deal to where it's just like they're pandering overall, because I can't remember the gentleman who was on NFL Network that he was disgusted, and you seeing a lot of people do it. And the reason why I keep with your word pander, there are some people that may not feel like that. Like, we know the sports debate shows, you know, besides this one, of course, me and Shani giving our real opinion. But the guys at the major networks, they do pander. We know they meet before the thing and say, okay, this is how you feel about it. This is how I'm feeling. We're going to play it like this. In this case, I don't know if they're doing that or not, but I know they're saying people are mad about this. You need to come out and you need to say something. You need to say something. And that's what's going on, because, I mean, you selected the independent judge to say something, and they did it. And I think the NFL has a problem with power. And I think with their power, they probably would have ticked it past 6. She kept it at 6. And what it did is it kept it in the same situation. I'll say Ezekiel Elliott, and not, you know, because I'm a Cowboy fan, but they mentioned that, you know, people have mentioned his suspension was 6. They didn't take it to court. It was obviously less cases, which is the one problem that people do have. He did settle all the suits. And I think what's probably one thing that's tricky, and I don't know if she put this into her decision, the Texans were literally involved and settled the rest of the cases because they were involved and implicated. So it's really sticky. It's a lot to do. And the NFL probably cannot wait till September 8th and then September 11th, because that's when the season starts. The Thursday night game, the Rams and the Bills. Once season starts, it's going to be a lot. Once Deshaun Watson, whatever they figure out with the settlement, with the suspension, once it's over, he's back. Going to get a week of questions, and then after that, it's going to be over, and it's going to be, hey, how's your fantasy league team doing? Hey, how are the Cowboys doing? How are the Saints doing? How the Rams doing? You know, how the Bengals, whoever. That's what it's going to come down to.
See that you say that I believe would have been the original road if they just would agree with the 6 games. Now that the NFL has decided to appeal, Deshaun Watson is going to sue. NFLPA is going to take it to Fed court. Oh, it's going to get nasty. Yeah. And it's getting to the point now, Deshaun Watson may end up playing week 1 until a decision is made, because he's going to appeal. So it's going to get ugly. They could have let this thing go by the wayside. You know, a decision was made. But regardless of what decision, it's not going to please both sides.
Nah.
So you like the NFL could have easily said, okay, you know, this is not from us. We originally came and said we would like to have a longer suspension. but the judge said 6 games. So that's not on us. It's on her. They gonna basically throw her on the bus. It's on her. So, they go by and start the NFL year. But now what I really think is, because, they always had in their clause, they can, if they want to, they can appeal, which would then go back and put it right back into Goodell's lap. And Goodell say he's going to appoint some people of his choosing, but it's still in the NFL.
He's still pulling the strings. But Sean,
exactly.
You made a great point with that, because it would have been over. It would have been over.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's going to be like, hey, is it going this way? Is it going that way? This is another case of, if you want to make a case to get rid of Goodell, this is another one that you can say, hey, you handled this situation poorly. And he's got to figure out how to get this resolved as fast as possible, and how to appease all of the fans, which you're going to piss some of the fans off. You're going to piss, and you're going to, obviously, you're probably going to piss off one of your owners. But the only thing he has in that case is, Jimmy Haslam is not liked. Like, I've heard it again today. I was listening to a show and they was like, he's not liked. And one of the biggest reasons he's not liked is he's messed up the quarterback market. So, which is crazy. The owners, it still comes back to the bread, the money. And so they're mad.
He didn't have to. That. He did not have to.
And he didn't have to. He just, basically why he did it is, man, that team has a hunger for football in that town. And they want a winner so bad. They want a quarterback so bad. And he just pushed all the chips in. And he pushed all the chips in, and he took it to a place that no other team was willing to take it. So they're going to have to deal with that. But it's one of those deals where it's like, man, this story is really rough. We've been dealing with it for almost 2 years. And it's just like, it's really unfortunate that, man, we got some great stories. Well, we have another legal case next, but which is really interesting with the Dolphins. But in this case, you would want the NFL to, I know you can, influence a judge, but I think they should have probably, like you said, they might have should have just sat this one out. And now it's going to cause a really long battle with it, and like I saw in my Facebook, but they was like, I was like, look, man, the union is going to back its players, especially a person as a quarterback that clearly has power. They're going to back them. And so they're going to back them even if nobody ever really wanted to. They're going to back your guy because it's your union. You're going up against your employer. That's an ongoing fight until the company closes. But I did hear that some of the things that they're looking to do is they set up the contract, and that's another thing they're going to be mad at the Browns for. Set up the contract to where he's not going to get penalized. He's still going to get his full salary. He's only going to get, maybe lose like $1 million. They set the contract up like that. It was just almost like a FU at whenever the suspension happened. And so now they're going to fine him. Now they're looking to fine him so they can hit him in the pocketbook. And it's kind of like, I understand where they're coming from. My only thing with the situation is I wonder if Goodell could have done this. If they could have did one of those deals where you give him an indefinite suspension, and you make it retroactive to last year because he didn't play a game last year. So you do that. You say, hey, whatever salary that you made at that point, you owe that. You owe those game checks. Suspend them. One of those deals like they did with Josh Gordon, or like they did with Randy Gregory before. Suspend them for 4 games this year to start, reduce it to 2, boom. You had a 19-game suspension. You lose those 2 game checks from 2022. You lose all the game checks. Now that hurts you, but that's something that makes it look. We know that it's a slap on the wrist, but to others, they can always say, hey, we suspended him for a full season, and they was like, well, he didn't want to play anyway. We can't control that. It's done. And maybe that could have been something that would have went over a little bit better. But this year is in for a long fight. But
I know before we go to the next topic, when I pretty much listening to the radio when I was coming to the house, and it looks like the NFL, of course, they want to add more games, and they almost looking at the fine. They want to do the fine, and they almost they also looking at a indefinite suspension to the point to where Watson will have to reinstate to come back in the league and have him take some courses or whatnot, some rehab type thing, something like that. So that's what they're looking at. They want at least a season suspension, basically suspended indefinite to the point you got to reinstate to get back into the NFL, a fine, and attend to some programs or whatnot. So they trying to, and I think the whole game plan all along is let the judge make a decision, see how the general public will react. If they don't like it, we can always invoke our appeal card, which is gonna come right back to us. And because the NFL is so sensitive with public backlash. Yes. So throw the appeal card, come back to us. We'll lay down a punishment that's more accepted to that, especially the women audience. And now they will look like the heroes. So I think this is a potentially they're just sitting back and see how the judge is going to, and how the backlash. Cause right now they can just everything's on the judge, even though the judge saying, "I did this based on how y'all did it." How y'all get down. Yeah. But so I think it was a master plan ultimately, but it's gonna be ugly though. So
it's gonna be ugly. What's going on, Hank? Man, appreciate you checking in, man.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
What's up, man?
Doing good, man.
Man, ain't nothing happening. They about to fuck my man, Deshaun Watson.
Man, it looked like it was done. Like it looked like
I was hoping it was done.
That was just that lady's recommendation. But the NFL's got that final say. So it seems like they about to pull out I don't know if they pull out the Vaseline. She might be just do straight. He might just straight get poo stick. Y'all remember that? What's that movie with LL Cool J in it? Y'all know, y'all might be too young.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about
N2D. I think it's N2D.
Oh yeah.
And he was undercover, and he put my man on the table for robbing him. It might be Deshaun Watson here when Roger Goodell get a hold to his ass.
They just trying to appeal to the general public. They cannot stand backlash, and that was the whole reason why they created this system, because they wanted to back away from it. And now they done put themselves right back in it.
That was the whole point, was to get out of business.
But I'm sick of it, man. I mean, goddamn, man. Why we got to keep... Look here, I don't want to say anything that's going to get y'all channels straight. I'm a calm down a little bit. I'm a simmer down, as my man JR used to tell us. Simmer down. But, yeah, I think he's about to get a raw deal. If they give that man another year, to me, the 6th game is fair. I mean, 6 games is fair. He already missed a year, but now you're gonna get this 6 games. Of course, the lady, I don't know, I forgot the lady's name, but she's from the NFL personnel office or something. I think it was a fair punishment for 6 games to me. I'm thinking anything over 8 games is extreme, and they talk about doing a whole year. To the point they even talk about indefinite suspension.
Yeah, exactly. That's right before you came on. That's what I said. They want to get to the point where he going to have to reinstate to come in the league. I'm like, oh damn, man. They just trying to make an example. So I look at it like this: if they will suspend Zeke, to the point where they totally ignore the recommendation of the lead investigator when she said don't suspend him because the credibility of the accuser was not there, which ultimately turned to be true because the thing turned out to be a lie. They still suspended him for 6 games because I guess I'll say, well, if they gonna do that,
yeah,
Watson, you screwed, Doc. Because they want you suspended because they want to appease the other side that's having this backlash. It's no different with the Kaepernick. It's just a different topic. Kaepernick, reason they don't want the backlash because people, the owners they didn't want him on the roster because they didn't want to do the backlash because it was a threat in their money.
And they want to
when backlash grows, NFL they crumble.
So this is what I'm having a problem with. That white boy owner, Kraft, same goddamn thing. Pulled his ass in, got him for the same goddamn thing. Now, did he have all them bodies? No. But he had some bodies. He got implemented some criminal cases. This wasn't just a civil with him.
That was a sting.
Yes. I ain't hear nothing about him suspended for a year. I don't hear about a fine. I didn't hear none of that shit. But boy, they about to run this black ass Negro in. Now, we all know the dude's trying to get a cheap thrill. Should have went and got him an escort. MDA, that he should have had the chick sign and pay a little extra money to get what he really wanted done. Now he tried to go to cheap route, go to Asian massage, you know what I'm saying, on Broadway and get a couple rub downs and think he was gonna get away with it. No, your cheap ass should have spent some of that money and got you an escort.
Yeah. The whole time I had a problem with him. Like, bro, you went to Instagram? You went to Instagram? You went to Instagram all these times? Like, come on, bro. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, somebody, that's when you need a handler that's gonna be not the yes man to be like, bro, what are you doing? This is like, you know, because you know, you probably talk to people and be like, so this is your how many massage? So you're a professional athlete, you let multiple people touch your back. You don't want, let's be real, you don't want them to touch your back. Like, let's be, you don't want an actual massage. Like, that was something that he could have negated, and you into whatever you into, it's none of my business. Would have been nobody's business if you, like he said, if you went and handled it in that route. But you handled it in this situation, and it, you know, when that, I think that New York Times article, when it was just like, it was over 60 women, and it was just like, when I heard that, I was like, oh my goodness, bro. You
see, being in Houston, we already knew it was over 50. We already heard, you know, stories out there that it was over 50. But of course, when it came on the New York Times and they put that stamp on it and they got out to the national media, oh yeah, that dude, you know, he done. You know, it was like, and it just basically, you know, people still, because his whole thing was everything that happened with consent. And so far, that was not found to be a lie as of yet. But it looked like just the number of women he associated with, because, you know, that's what now everything started turning against. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I don't like the fact, like I said earlier, I don't like putting labels on people. If I'm on the outside, completely in the dark, and if nothing was determined yet, criminal-wise, I can't put the sexual assault label on that, 'cause that's a hell of a label. But what I can see is like, dude, you should have never put yourself in that situation, man. But when you put yourself in that situation, you can't control the outcome, and that's exactly what it is.
And that's some young-minded shit, though. Like you said, picking up chicks off Instagram and do all that shit. Come on, man. That's what these kids do, man. Look here, you could have walked anywhere down in the state of Houston,
exactly,
in the city of Houston, and find a man one just ready to throw the thing on you. I don't care what color. You could have got you one of them Latino chicks, black chicks, white chicks. Don't matter. Man, they would have been ready to throw it at you.
Especially in Houston.
You out here, man, trying to do some more bullshit. Going on Instagram trying to pick up hoes. Man, these dudes better learn how to open their mouth and have a real conversation with them. God damn, man. I mean, I just don't understand, Deshaun. I mean, it was a bad investment all the way around, but
it was.
The Texans weren't gonna say nothing. They had everything on the right. You talk about leaving. Once you talk about leaving, they said, man, well, I guess we're gonna clean out the closet. Bring all this hat. You won't leave? Okay, cool. You get. I'm gonna throw your baggage with you. I'm gonna let it be known.
Well, since you
surprise, motherfucker.
In that organization, let's transition to another organization that find themselves in hot water. When Coach Brian Flores originally started, you know, he originally threw the fire in there, famed that flyer. And when he was talking about that they came to him willing to pay him to tank, you know, and whatnot. Now the NFL said that they couldn't find no evidence based on that, which Flores did come. He released a statement saying how, you know, disappointed how, you know, because especially I think when it happened, he reported that incident when it happened. It wasn't like, you know, months or so. He said when it happened, he reported it, but they couldn't find anything. But the Dolphins really got in trouble based on tampering when it came to Sean Payton and Tom Brady. You know, they had basically nothing to do with Brian Flores' accusations of them. it was just to them, but they got punished. The owner, I don't know how long he got suspended.
He got suspended to like October 16th is like the point.
He's
just gonna watch the game from his mansion or from his yacht.
Yeah.
I thought they said a year suspension. But who cares, man?
Yeah. They said he ain't got to be. He ain't gonna 8 home. What? Probably about 9 home games now that they playing 18. So he probably missing like 8 to 9 home games. So yeah, they fined him $1.5 million and he's suspended through October 17th.
How much draft picks did they take away from him?
They took their first from this year, the first from 23 and a third in 24. So a first and a third, that's compensation for probably a quality player. Because to be honest, if they're pumping Tua up, but they set themselves up much like the Eagles. If Tua didn't work out, take your first from this year, your first from the next year, maybe another first, trade up in the draft and get a rookie, or trade for one of these quarterbacks that's unhappy. So they're not
gonna have a first. I think they out. I think they out on the first because they took their first for 2023.
Yeah. So
if he don't work, they gonna pretty much have to make him work. He's gonna have to finish out his rookie contract in order to make it to 2024 and at least get a chance at a first round draft pick. But 2023 is gonna have the best quarterback class, they said, since probably about the late 90s, about 98, I think.
Yeah, they hyping this one up.
So they're gonna miss this one because they lost their first round draft pick. So you know, it's a catch-22 for him, man. I mean, I wasn't high on Tua when he came out. To me, he was injured too much, and y'all know I don't like them quarterbacks. I always stay hurt. Reference Lamar, sorry ass, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We'll leave that man.
Oh man,
he's up to 230 now. He could take a few hits now, but nonetheless, man, I don't know. He's got all the weapons he needs. You got Hill, you got Waddle,
weapons,
got a tight end.
Weapons and speed.
He's a tight end. I like him, especially in fantasy. I don't know if y'all guys do fantasy. I do like him in fantasy.
Hey,
the tight end. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm just not sold on Tua.
Me neither.
I mean, Flores was right when he talked about he should have got Hilbert, and that should have been a quarterback for them instead of Tua. I mean, but I understand they fell in love with the hype and him playing a hell of a championship game for the Alabama. So, he won them over with that. But then you get the results. He come in, he don't play for damn the whole year. Then last year he was in and out. Saying to the point you got to get Fitzpatrick in there starting a few games for him, and he probably should have been starting the rest of the year because Tua wasn't ready. He still had a bum hip, bad knee. So I don't know, man. It pans out for the Cats.
For me, he needed to go to a team that was going to sit him the entire year, because that whole first year, hips is the one thing, if you look at medically, are very difficult to be able to deal with. We literally got guys blowing out their knees coming back. Like they're talking about the guy Marquise Goodwin. They're talking about him from the Bucs coming back playing week 1. When he tore that knee up. Which is where they've been able to do that. It's amazing. But with hips, it's still really delicate, and sometimes guys never get back right. Hips and backs, those are really difficult. I would have gave him the full year off, redshirt year. Know that we have the 5th year option. We're gonna go ahead and kick that bad boy in because we're only gonna see him play for 4 years. We're gonna see him play year 2 through year 5. That's just what I would have did personally. He's a guy that his arm isn't strong, but he can be accurate. But I'm not impressed by guys that are accurate with just the short ball. So he needs to be able to hit on passes intermediately. But he does have a coach that is going to do things, and they're probably going to play in a system in which they're going to get the receivers open for catch and run opportunities. They're going to throw screens. They're going to he's a really good running game guy. So he's a guy that I'm pretty sure if you give him a good running game with that speed and you close down in that box, he's got to be able to hit him at least from 15 yards out. So I think he'll look. What he could do is he could screw him. He could have a really good year this year. And if I was him, I would do the same thing Kyler Murray did, what Baker Mayfield should have did. I can't remember who said it. And he said what he should have did is after you have that big year 3, you tell him you're going to hold out. You get that bag. Because if Baker gets that bag, he's not with the Panthers right now. Kyler Murray might not work out, but he knows I'm small. I get hurt. Hey, man, and then that's a franchise that literally had a first overall pick. That a top 10 pick that you had the year before, and then he was so bad you got the first overall pick. He knows he had him by the balls. He knows that. Tua should do the same thing. He should do the same thing.
but to say hurt too much to even have that argument. You know what I'm saying? I look at her. I'm saying, as long as right now you up on the contract, I don't have to pay you. Now, is it gonna cost me if I wait till that fifth year is up, 5th year option's up? Yeah, it may. But I'm willing to take that chance due to your injury history. I don't know what I'm gonna get. You know what I'm saying? We gave you every weapon you needed to be successful. There shouldn't be no excuse.
It's got to be a playoff run.
You had little to no excuses. So if you don't get it done, then that's a problem. Not playoff. You got to win that division.
Yeah.
Division's open for grabs.
You got the weapons. They expect you to be able to hang with Buffalo. You got the weapons.
That's the thing. Buffalo is a tough one, but I'm with you. If I gave you all these weapons and the defense on the other side, it's, Flores was a big part of the coaching it, but they gave you pieces. Like, they have a secondary that can go out and compete. They got a defensive line that they've been building up. So it's one of those deals to where, like, hey, we've been using the picks and we've been doing it. Now we traded out the picks. We got Tyreek, we got Waddle, because that is the one thing they did use some. I kind of felt like the Waddle pick could have went to an offensive lineman, but right now receivers and getting your quarterback weapons, that's really the wave. I'm all about
do it, Josh Allen.
But that's yeah.
They're gonna do it. Josh Allen.
Now it's top slug.
Before he got Diggs
with Buffalo. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
he wasn't doing anything before he got Diggs.
And that's the thing. Since you brought it up, that's the one thing. And I've turned the corner on Josh Allen, but that's the biggest thing that's annoyed me about Josh Allen is we have seen one of the biggest jumps in completion percentage that we've ever seen from a quarterback. A trajectory we've never seen. Hey, man, give Stephon Diggs that credit. And let's not act like we knew this guy was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Because that first year, he was running with the ball, and he was throwing picks, and he was throwing incompletions. Like, when Cole Beasley went there, that was their first move. I was like, Cole Beasley, he's going to throw the ball over your head, bro. He's not accurate. Now, he took him to the playoffs. Now, he did, as you remember as a Texas fan, you know what happened when that game got close.
It was Allen versus Watson, and Watson put on a hell of a show at the end of the game.
Watson put on the show, and he floundered. My thing is, he was a guy that if he looked like if he was a black quarterback, he gets looked at differently. And I feel like his trajectory, and they want him to be great, because if you look at the trajectory, he's everything they want in a quarterback. Strong arm, big, strong, Caucasian. And it's like they give him passes on things, but at this point, the performance he put on against the Chiefs, it's like, look, man, you are what they say you are. They got right on this time. They got it right. But it's like I need the pressure there if he doesn't succeed. Because like they were critiquing, Mahomes, and it's like, bro, this dude has been in a conference championship every year. Like, pause, relax, relax. 2 Super Bowls and won one, and the one he lost was he didn't have an offensive line. So it's like putting him on tiers with guys like that. Sometimes I get a little like, nah, y'all hoping for it. Y'all haven't seen it yet. Like with Mahomes and other players, we've seen it. Even with I love Justin Herbert. I hate to admit this. There was a point in which I wanted Justin Herbert, to play for my team when my quarterback was looking shaky. Because I saw him and I was like, man, this dude is. And I saw him live at 18.
Yeah, I wanted Carson.
This dude is
Carson Wentz to play for the Cowboys. Because coming out the draft, Carson Wentz was the better prospect than that. I'm glad they didn't get that.
Guys, you also got to remember that dude played at Wyoming. He played in a small school.
Yeah,
it wasn't like his major. So there was an automatic learning curve already.
Mm-hmm.
When he came out of college, they said he wasn't as accurate. Well, how do we really know when he really didn't have the weapons that he has in the NFL now? Now that he has the weapons, he's showing he's everything that they say he is. So I see one of the comments talking about is he overrated or not?
Yeah, I was about to get to that one too. Yeah,
I'm not gonna sell the dude short. I tell you this. I think he's like 6'5", 6'7".
Mm-hmm. He's a big boy.
Man, he gonna run through your ass.
Yeah,
he can let that thing go. And like you said, Diggs. Now he got your boy Davis is a snapping. You know what I'm saying? They got Knox is a decent tight end. I really wish they get the tailback for him, man.
Yes,
I'm not sold on Singletary or Moss, but you got to do what you got to do. But now they did. I think they did get a rookie, so we'll see how that works for him. You know what I'm saying? If they get I don't know. Let's just see how this rookie does for him, and maybe he'll snap. Maybe he'll come through for him. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that front office for dropping the bag on Von Miller to be like, look, we know if we could have got one stop, we win that game. Because when your quarterback scores were like, I think it was it 15 seconds?
13.
They That's got to be one of the best playoff games I've seen.
That was one of the best, man.
Since the miracle in Tennessee. Tennessee Miracle.
That Tennessee
the last good playoff game I've seen since that. I mean, that was a hell of a game.
That game was amazing because seeing that Tennessee Miracle live, I was just like, yo, like, are you like? I was looking for the flag. Yeah, that was hey, Hank, that was a good one to throw back to. But that game, I was just like, and I rock with Mahomes, so I was like, man, let me see if he's gonna do it. I was like, I don't think he got enough time. And I'm watching, and I'm like, bro, I can't
but
believe that
you say Mahomes. Who was the primary before I get to Mahomes? Because Hank, you brought it up too. That one comment IXL he put out by asking if Josh Allen was overrated. I don't think so. Now, I mean, you can see. I mean, dude, he has a resume now. I mean, his resume shown. You gave like any quarterback. You know, you give only quarterback that I can remember as of recent who did so with not a top tier receiver. That was Watson with Houston.
Yeah.
Watson's last year with Houston, damn near threw for, that was his best season that he had as a Texan, and they lost. They only won 4 games because the team was so terrible. But Watson, on the other hand, damn near threw for 5,000 yards. I forgot the touchdowns to interception ratio. I mean, he damn near could have won MVP, but they ain't gonna give an MVP for a player playing for a team that low. But that was the last time, because I know a lot of people, they make the argument about Lamar Jackson not having a number 1. You know, well, Washington didn't have a number 1. You see how he performed. So, but a lot of times, though, you do give a quarterback at least a number 1 receiver. And Josh Allen, they gave him one, and immediately you saw that dude's career take off. So he got a resume now. So if he overrated, maybe if you could say he was overrated, maybe his rookie season before Diggs got there. But they gave him a receiver, and he produced. And he produced for the past 3 seasons? And I said, nah, this dude got a resume. Nah, he's not overrated. He can hang with any other quarterback. And I saw somebody just put a comment asking, will I take him over Lamar Jackson?
Oh, hell yeah.
I look at that as 2 different, because I remember on Facebook, somebody asked a question using Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. I used them as 2 different quarterback examples. What's up?
What's going on, Andre?
Check it aside. Lamar Jackson is a running quarterback. He can throw, but he's a running quarterback. So I look at it as a receiver. Who would I rather go with? I'm going with either Allen or Herbert because I know I'm going to have more chance. They're going to throw the ball more. I'm going to have more chance to hell because, in the NFL, you got to look, you got to get your numbers up too so you can get your money. With Lamar Jackson, you're probably going to spend the majority of your time blocking. I mean, Lamar Jackson, I think he has half the attempts as Justin Herbert. I haven't even compared him to Josh Allen yet. It's just an attempts alone. So when I look at that, and a lot of people like to bring up Lamar's MVP. That was that season. That's the same thing when people bring about Wentz in 2017. When he was on the road to MVP, and he got injured, but he hasn't been the same since. That just means he had a magical season. Okay, that season's over and done with. What has he done lately? And if you compare since that MVP, Lamar Jackson, compared to, hell, even Herbert or Allen, Lamar Jackson is a winner. He's a winner, but he's not, he's not doing what them two dudes are doing. So
now that's why I say on that one to defend Lamar. Like what I say, first off, Tommy B, I appreciate you checking out. I see you with no love for the Chiefs. So I already know what the time it is. I know you rep Raider Nation. But what I'll say about it is comparing them is really tough because the one thing I'll say is the same way they'll say, hey, how can I compare Josh Allen when he doesn't have a number 1? Well, now he has a number 1. I can compare him to people. Lamar doesn't have a number 1, and he has a coordinator that I don't know why they won't change it, that kind of won't get with the times as far as the passing schemes. So it's like he needs to be able to do some different type of offense. They're still going to come out here and basically give J.K. Dobbins the ball, give Gus Johnson the ball, I'm going to give him the ball, and Lamar Jackson is still going to run with the ball. You're going to get the ball to the Mark Andrews, the tight end, one of the best tight ends in the league, but we still don't have the quote-unquote number 1 guy. Now, they're going to go with Rashad Bateman, who they drafted out of Minnesota last year. They're going to go with, I want to say, they took, was it the kid from Oklahoma State that they took? Tylen Wallace, they're going to go with him. You know, that's a guy from my hometown, and they're going to play him at receiver and try him. He was a guy that was in the Biletnikoff Award conversation. So you got some young talent over there, but you have a quarterback, and I think what they're kind of doing is similar simulation they do with other quarterbacks. Okay, you want this bag, elevate these guys around you. And
that's what they're doing to Dak right now.
That's what they're doing with Dak, elevate these guys around you. And even that, you have a number one, and I think it's going to be one of them, especially with the injuries with the Cowboys. They're going to have to feature him and feed him, and it's going to be like, bro, you better get 150 targets. What you going to do with it? And I wish Lamar had somebody like that. And the one thing I will say is Lamar has to get better consistently moving the ball in situations where it's like the third down situations. And because I know the accuracy is there, I've seen him like throw dime passes, and I've seen him use his mobility. If he can make some more plays from the pocket, he'll be fine. And that's the thing that he has to work on. Make those plays from the pocket. We know outside the pocket, like that game against the Browns a few years ago, it's like where he slipped out the pocket, they draw the defense in, threw it on the rope, and it's like, bro, you can't deny the talent. Like some of the people, and the problem I have with Lamar is, and I back him so hard, some people come with them racist tropes, like the Bill Polians of the world, and the one anonymous GM that, oh, I don't care if he win 12 MVPs, he'll never be. It's like, bro, you showing your bias, bro. If he win that many MVPs and win that much, hey, bro, give it up. Just like I had to give it up on Josh Allen. He a bad dude, not overrated at all. Proved it. You know, been to an AFC championship, because that's the other thing about comparing them. In that game when they played against each other, Lamar didn't look very good. I mean, either did Josh Allen. That was a defensive game, but that's why you can't kind of give the quarterback the win stat. The Buffalo defense did enough to win that game. Lamar, and Josh Allen just didn't lose it. Lamar didn't. So he's, it's one of those games. It was tough. It was an ugly game. Ugly. Hold on, Andre. Whoa, my brother. Whoa. Yeah, what is this? You cussing at me, man. I don't know what to.
I slide that comment to the side.
The Eagles are going to the side. No, that's right. Hey, everybody got to have a dream, Andre. I know that's right.
Now, I say this, though. The Eagles, they are building the squad.
They got a squad.
They just got the major question mark at the primary position.
Yeah.
If they ever get that question mark resolved and or if Hurts becomes that dude, that will be a dangerous team. But unfortunately, if you don't have a quarterback like right now, I still believe Dak is the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah.
But but they got weapons on both sides of the ball. Cause that Jordan Davis pick, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
They ain't let nobody run.
That Jordan Davis pick.
This boy said Giants win the division.
But that's another joke. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Somebody got to have a drink. Hey, look here, man. I think they need to allow Sanders to run that ball, though, man. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, you got a decent running back, Miles Sanders, and you don't hand the ball over to him maybe about 5 to 6 games. 5 to 6 times a game, man. It doesn't make sense to me. That makes no sense at all. Now, I know I think it's the coach they got now is his second year, but he still seems like he's doing the same thing that your boy Peterson's doing. Don't want to hand the ball off. Hand the damn ball off. Let them running backs run a little bit, man.
Yeah, I think Cowboys do this. I think sometimes them coordinators, they get in their own way. Everybody right now is trying to create an offense like the Rams and the Chiefs. Misdirection, all these, formations. Sometimes you got to go with the hand you dealt, and sometimes you may have to put a little bit more old school in there. But they act like that's forbidden.
Look there, man. Simplify it as much as you have to.
Exactly.
You don't have to try to outthink. Come on, man. Just stop making it so complicated.
I mean, that's what the Ravens do with Lamar. I mean, it's controversial, but depending on what side you on. But that's exactly what the Ravens do with Lamar. This is your strength. Right now, your strength is when you see a chance to take off. Damn it, you a hell. Do that. We are worried about getting the weapons right now. That's why I say Lamar Jackson is a winner. Damn, all the other stuff is debatable with the throwing and all that. But when it comes to it, that dude is a winner. Now, playoffs is dinner. Playoffs are different, but yeah.
We got to fix that. We got to say he's a winner in the regular season. Man.
Exactly. And no different. And you know what? That's in the same category I put Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is like that. Aaron Rodgers is exactly like that.
And you know what I'll say to that? Somebody was looking at me crazy when I was like, nah, Patrick Mahomes is the best QB in the league. And I was like, who do you think it is? I was like, why is that a funny statement? He was like, Aaron Rodgers. And I was just like, I didn't get into it, but I said it in another comment, in another space. I was like, you mean the dude that the opposing quarterback threw 3 picks in the NFC Championship game and he couldn't get the dub? The dude that couldn't come in the red zone and had to kick field goals? Or the dude that let a Jimmy Garoppolo-led team, you go down and better yet, you come down and you score the opening touchdown. And how many points do you go on to score? You lose that game 13-10. Come on, bro. Stop with the discount double check. Stop with the Stephen A. Smith. He's a bad man. Hey, bro, we all know the truth on this panel. Look a little different. If his skin was look a little different. Hey, man.
He's still living off that one Super Bowl. But if you look, that dude, the losses he had in the playoffs and the performances that he has put in the play, I'm like, dude, for the most part, we celebrate you for what you do in the regular season.
Yeah.
Your postseason, if Lamar did that, especially getting beat twice by a quarterback that can't even sniff your level, I was like, oh no, man.
Look at the way they talking about Russell Wilson. Hey, man, I see y'all with the Cowboy slander in here. I am a Cowboy.
No, we just keep it. Go look at Aaron Rodgers postseason. That's all we looking at. I admit, Aaron Rodgers, talent-wise, he's probably the most talented quarterback I've ever seen in NFL history. He can do damn near everything.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, his postseason success, which a lot of QBs are, unless you just want to grade him on a regular season, that dude is celebrated because what he do in the regular season, because damn sure not the postseason.
Yeah, and you can compare him to, even if, because I was about to say, how many times is he gonna have the top overall seed and lose in that first game? And Peyton Manning definitely
13-3.
He has definitely done that. Like what he did at the MVP year. I mean, he's done it a lot of times. So it's not like we're giving anything that's just that. But somebody was talking about the media earlier. I think it was Excel. You talking about the media. The media got you fooled. The media got you fooled thinking top slug. The media got you fooled that you can't say anything bad about Aaron Rodgers. Like, nah, like when he loses, it's like, he didn't have enough receivers. He didn't, like, when is it enough? And now Devontae Adams is gone, and I don't know, a star receiver isn't everything, but it is going to be diminished because you didn't throw to anybody else. And that playoff game, it was Devontae Adams a bust or an incompletion. So
they're gonna have to fight this year for that division, man. At North. And North's gonna be a dog fight. You know what I'm saying?
The Lions gonna give them a fight.
It's gonna be a fight, man. So we'll see. I'm a Bird fan.
I can't stop the cat, man. Y'all gotta get off my dog like that, dog. First of all, Aaron Rodgers, dog, he played a playoff game with a fucking wide receiver at running back, dog. A wide receiver at running back. That's facts, dog. You talking about this last playoff game?
49ers, they, all
I know excuses last one. He ain't
got no, hold on. 49ers what?
They got a receiver that played running back too.
Nigga, they wanted him to play running back.
You talking about Debo Samuel?
Yeah.
The Cleveland Packers didn't have a running back.
Same thing with the 49ers. They running back was Raheem Mostert.
Tom, you can't make an excuse for Aaron Rodgers this
Okay,
season.
And it's not just this season. It's not just this season.
Hold on. How about this? They have a fucking number 1 pick, and these dumb. Let me watch my mouth. I don't want to fuck up his brain. But these people decide to go get a quarterback. The year after he went MVP, use a first-round pick, not even just on a quarterback, on a fucking bum, instead of getting him another fucking weapon on offense. Like, that's incompetent, bro.
But Tommy, I come back with this. How much times? Obviously, that really didn't hurt Rodgers too much because they still finished 13-3. They were still winning games.
You're literally proving my point about Aaron Rodgers, bro. Like he's playing for a team that decided to use a number 1 pick, which is platinum diamonds in the NFL, on a bum-ass backup quarterback when your starting quarterback is the MVP, and the next year he won his second MVP back-to-back.
Yeah, but Tommy, they did it in New England too. They did the same goddamn thing in New England. And guess what Tom Brady did? Went out there and won that goddamn Super Bowl. Y'all kiss my ass. I'm still that man.
And Tom, all the success that you were talking about,
what happens.
Exactly. And all the success that you're talking about is the regular season. Nobody's saying that Aaron Rodgers is not great. But every time we talk about Aaron Rodgers and the greatness that they praise him about, the only thing we have is he'll dominate the regular season. So you're like, okay, we're gonna shift that to the postseason. And then he goes and have these embarrassing losses against QBs that can't even sniff his level, and not the fact that he lose a game. Because sometimes if you perform and you lose, because he don't play defense, so he can't do nothing about that. But sometimes his performance in the playoffs go down. This dude finished 13-3, and then they have a first round exit.
Okay, and what I'll
say, you want me to bring up his playoff stats? Is that what I got to do? And then we're gonna make an excuse about that.
Hold on now, Tommy, you're a Raider fan. You need to stop that shit, man.
I'm gonna put it like this. Do you remember?
Hey, Aaron Rodgers from the crib, man. I gotta, you feel me?
I don't give a shit. Aaron Rodgers ain't shit. Fuck Aaron Rodgers.
Remember that? What was it? When the 49ers just pumped them and bullied them in that NFC Championship game. I think the Packers organization said, "Hey, man, we really got to do a better job. Give him a defense." They gave him a defense. We know on offense, hey, the offense got blitzed. That was that pass rush with Bosa and them. They was, I think I can't remember which other pass rusher they had, was a D4 or not. They were coming with it, and the Packers couldn't handle it. And so they built up a defense.
I think they had
Darius Smith.
Yeah.
So the Packers have built up the defense. They got Rashawn Gary. They got the corner that they got from the young corner they picked up to go along with the other top end corner they have. They got the safety that they got out of the draft. They've built a job on trying to build up the defense to give him that. But unfortunately, it's been a little bit at the expense of the offense. They've only been able to get mid-tier guys, and it's almost like they hear the criticism and they refuse to take a receiver. They refuse to do it. I don't know why.
They had a first round pick to get a goddamn receiver. You want me to name the people that they chose that bum over? I ain't gonna pull up the draft.
I don't know why they won't do it. I think I don't know why.
No. I'm just saying, bro. Like, I don't know what the relationship is with him and that front office. Because, see, I think that's a lot of what a lot of people don't look into. I'll give you another perfect example, like Jamarcus Russell. I don't know if y'all, and I know the ins and outs of the Raiders, so I know how fucked up the Raiders really used to be. I don't know if they fucked up like that now. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Niggas' checks used to bounce. That's a true story. Niggas used to go to the bank to cash their check from the Raiders, and that shit would bounce. So when we're talking about a lot of these players, it's deeper than just what they do on the field. Again, I ain't trying to cape for him because I can't really defend him, coming up short because he has. I think it's more context to it than people want to give it. But a lot of this shit is a lot deeper. I got a homegirl, her brother played for the Raiders, and me and her would be chopping it up. And she would talk to me about how the Raiders would get so much talent, and they fucking just flat out wouldn't develop it, bro. Like, we had a gang of dudes that had a gang of talent, and they just didn't develop the shit. And so what happens is when the media gets to it, all they care about is, oh, well, you didn't complete the job. Like, when have you ever watched ESPN and they said, oh, this franchise is a mess? Only person I would say that does that is Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd would tell you straight up, yeah, that franchise is mess. Or like, most people don't understand.
It sounds like you're breaking up a little bit, Tommy.
Oh, hey, my bad. I'm driving. But most people.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
No, I'm saying you're making a hell of a point. I'm trying to make sure you get it out, bro. Go ahead.
Like, on surface level, a lot of people, he all right, he ain't all that. But if you go through to still have that level of success that he had, and I ain't saying he's been successful by any means, but if you look what he had to deal with that organization, between he got another GM every year, he got another coach damn near every year, another coordinator damn near every year, like, and to still kind of maintain, like, we don't look that deep into this stuff when we look into sports. We just look, like, even with I'll give you another perfect example. The reason why I never got mad at LeBron, because ain't nobody coming to Cleveland, bro. That ain't LeBron's fault.
Yeah.
When he asked Dewayne to come to Cleveland, Dewayne laughed in his face. Ain't nobody coming there. So what is he supposed to be like that?
Yeah.
Damn. Breaking a bad, baby.
Breaking a bad.
Was like
you made it.
Flintstones.
What I think with LeBron is in situations like that and other players, like you said, when they go back in time and they look at it and they have more context, they're gonna look at them differently. But now, like Colin Cowherd, he pulled that point up about the Raiders and dealing with Derek Carr and everything, and like and even the time when he's having a great year and everything's fitting right, he had an effing injury. He gets hurt. He can't even play in a playoff game. So like now he gets a bad rap, and he's somebody that gets a bad rap. Somebody else that gets one where he's a solid quarterback, but in the big games he don't really show up is Kirk Cousins. He's somebody that gets one, and I know. In that case, we talk about nuance. Tommy, we talking about nuance. The head coach didn't like him. The head coach flat out was an old school dude that didn't like him, and Kirk Cousins is a quirky kind of guy, and it's like I can see him being like, I don't like him. Hey, bro, he's your best shot at winning, but you don't like him. But the old school coaches like that with that mindset, we got to get them out the paint. Like they gotta go. They gotta go.
Since we we're going around talking about the various QBs in the league, I want to get y'all opinions on, because I wanted to get to it last week. We were stuck on the WNBA for the whole show. But the whole Kyler Murray situation, I want to hear y'all's opinions about that.
Man, what I'll say with it is this. Look, it's a deal. I don't know how big of a deal it is, but he was quoted as saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna kill myself watching film." And that quote surfaced, "I'm gonna do this. I play it from a field and a this or that." And I understand playing it from a field, but you at the highest levels, and especially when you get to those good opponents and playoff teams, it is sometimes watching and catching just that one little thing like, oh, I know this, I know that, let me catch it. Plus, he's not that far along in his career where you've seen every defense. When you get to that point where you've been a quarterback since your early 20s and you get to your 30s, like, yeah, bro, you've seen most of the defenses they can throw at you. So, like, you do need to, those guys are studying and they do know it and they do it. But it's also a graphic going out there, not saying it's directly correlated. They had a weekend, he plays Call of Duty, and where Call of Duty is having its extra points, Kyler Murray tends to have a bad game. And it's just one of those deals where it's just like, bro, they know something that they not telling us, but they telling us by saying, we need you to get these extra time to study because you aren't I burn the candle, first guy in, first guy. He might be a guy opposite. He's the opposite. And it's like you have natural talent, but that's not enough. And it's definitely not enough when you five. They say 5'9". That guy looks. I don't know. We'll say 5'9" because that's what they list him. So a 5'9" quarterback, well, you might need an extra edge because we know you can't see over the line. So you might need to know something, a little tick or something of what they doing. He literally can't, bro. Come on, bro. I ain't joking though. But yeah,
well, you gotta remember, like with his height, he's standing with offensive linemen at 6'5", 6'6". So it might throw you off a little. I'll give you a perfect example. Like a lot of people don't know Steph Curry is 6'4". But when you standing up against 6'7", 6'8", 7-foot dudes, you ain't gonna look 6'4". But if I'm giving you $250 million, you better get your punk ass in there and watch some film, blood. Like are you out your mind? $250 million? Man, and if anybody's seen that playoff game, they ain't got to tell us he'll watch film. He showed it. That shit, hands down, that might have been one of the worst performances I've seen in a playoff game ever by a quarterback. That shit was terrible. Clearly didn't watch film.
And the thing about it, man, it really hurt him because it hurts the black quarterback, period. Because it makes the black quarterback look bad. You know what I'm saying? Because they already think we're not smart enough to play the position. Mm-hmm. And when you see shit like that, it doesn't help the cause. So you definitely don't want to feel the stereotype. You know what I'm saying? And so for him to say, they got to put
that. Was Daddy a professional? And when is Dad a professional?
Baseball. I think he was a baseball player.
I know he played at A&M, but I'm not sure how.
I think his dad was a baseball player. I don't know if he was a football
player.
Okay,
well, I'm just saying, like, if you grew up like that, so I think that's one of two things. Either you just entitled or you just a big dummy?
Well,
it should have started in high school, truth be told.
Yeah, but Kyler Murray, he from the DFW area. And he played at Allen High School down here. And that brother was cold. I mean, Kyler Murray pretty much in Texas, as great as high school football history that the state has, he can almost go down as the greatest high school football player ever in the state. He was that
never
cold.
lost the game.
And he never lost.
Better than Adrian Peterson?
Yes, he never lost the game.
Bro.
Yeah, that boy, he was cold in Allen. As a matter of fact, they the reason that he built that damn $60 million stadium for a high school. That brother was cold.
So let me ask y'all. So did he go to? So like out here we got De La Salle, which pretty much they just whoop everybody else. So is that like one of the kind of high schools he went to?
I don't know if De La Salle is open enrollment because Allen's just a suburb.
No, they recruit.
Yeah, Allen. I don't think.
They get guys, but they've been building that for a while.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they not they not getting the guys like off topic like Dunkerville is got like our Penny Hardaway going there.
Yeah.
They're not
so it's not like a football factory.
Exactly.
Like,
Allen.
For years, they try not to have it like that. So every couple of years, somebody else rises up. So Allen is. They're in the in-between phase right now, but they still got a lot of talent. Like they just had some guys go to UT, go some places, but they not killing it like they was right now. Duncanville, which is a black school, is killing the game right now, and they got it on lock.
And that's impressive. Because I was gonna say, because a lot of them guys, they go to their football factories and they ball out, but it's like y'all got all the best players. Maybe you should ball out. But if we
have two teams like that. You got South Lake, they literally just breed them bastards. And then you got Allen, they do the same thing. I think Katy down in Houston area, they do the same thing. But
and then North Shore, I did hear that they get guys coming from everywhere, but I know they're gonna kill us. We only got a minute left. Tommy B, Hink, I appreciate y'all for bringing it, bro. I appreciate this football conversation, Tommy. We need you back when these Raiders coming. Because Raider fans is writing a lot of checks, man. If they cash or they bounce, I know you're gonna pull up because you're a stand-up guy. So
we'll be here.
Hink, appreciate you.
I'm gonna be here.
Yes,
already.
For sure.
Man, go and close this out, bro.
Hey, man, once again, like Dante said, we appreciate everybody for coming in and checking us out. Until next week, we'll see you. Peace.